You can kind of see the fog area over here. So it's weird because I don't think it's been there for a few days, but now it's all foggy. But yesterday when I had turned on my thing and it was facing in the direction, because I always have to, you know, do the little thing to turn it. And the fog was over there under the TV. And I was looking at it with just my eyes. It's like you can't see shit. But then when I put on this, you can see there's like a density change in the atmosphere. That lights there, that's a little mirror. Oh, that's the light switch. So it's reflecting the light of the light switch. But that's a mirror. That's what is changed. That's the picking up the reflection of the TV. And I have the binaural beats on, the 432 healing. I usually always put that on in the morning, because then I put the ocean sounds on now at night, not those other ones, because I think that they were fucking around. I feel like that some of them, I don't know if it's the actual pages or whatever, but I feel like they're doing something. So anyways, you just gotta be aware of that. But anyways, I've been putting the ocean sounds on. And but when you get up, like when you wake up, if you don't change off of it, I swear to God, it's harder to wake up. It's like your brain just keeps staying in that, like, I don't know. In order to break free from that zone, I have to change it. And so, and then plus this one always adds a little bit of light. And still having a really bad time. But see, she still eats, and she keeps being really upset because we're out of treats. And that really bothers her. I'm so glad this week I'm going to be getting paid, though. And she goes through the treats too quick, but I keep telling her, well, there's going to be some tomorrow, or stuff's coming tomorrow. So she has a box coming tomorrow that has her medicine and some treats. And so hopefully that will make her kind of happy. But right now, I was breathing in. It was like something opened or something. She's laying in a weird place, but she was sleeping better. But she does really uncomfortable, something with her back, and I just feel so certain that it's got to be, like, this is gonna get really weird. But that's how I think. So that's how weird I am. I don't give a fuck. There's so much shit that, you know, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what like, I care about the people who vibe with me, but the people who don't, it's like, I don't care. Like, whatever. It's like, I don't give a shit. Like, sorry. But I was just thinking, all of a sudden Crystal popped into my mind, and storm's over in Oklahoma, because she didn't say anything last night. Usually she always says something. Last time she didn't say something. She was in the hospital and had surgery. So, but I know there's storms there. So anyway, someone's like, I hope Crystal's okay. And there's supposed to be a bunch of storms. And that earthquake guy, I just ran across his video, and there has been some weird earthquakes. Oh, I thought this was really interesting. So there's being a recall on all of these guys that have been military, and they're saying, you know, you need to be back in and be at this certain point at this time. I think it's May 27th or May 31st, so at the end of May. So this is, May seems to be really building us up to something. And who knows how this is all going to play out. Like, there's lots of people saying lots of different things, and there's going to continue to be chaos. That's something you can bank on. There's going to be chaos. But, and danger. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Like, be aware. Like, you just need, what was that robot's name? You go around, danger, Will Robinson. It was a good show back when I was a kid. So I was trying to think, what was the name of that show? It was like the Swiss Family Robinson of space. It's like they were trapped out in space. Like they were from the future. And so we were all going around in spaceships, and then they got lost. And so then, I don't know if that really was what the storyline was, but that's what pops into my mind. Anyways, it was a good show, but I can't remember what it was called. Something like, it was Swiss Family Robinson of space. I don't know. But anyways, now I'm all over the place. Hold on. Okay, hold on, because I'm trying to hit too many points. So let me think. I gotta slow down, sister. Let me think for a second. I feel so much better. You can't tell. I've been feeling way better. Yesterday, I was like lifting my arms. I was like, dang, that didn't even hurt. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm feeling good. So I feel good. Except for Stella stresses me out with her whining. I don't know if she's about to start. But oh yeah, because her jumping up. Okay, so when we were, I led her into the neighbor's yard, and Bert wasn't hidden yet. I guess Bert didn't see Stella coming, and because Bert will go into a place and he'll sit and stare at Stella. And I know Bert's fucking with Stella because he knows that Stella can't see him, and he just waits for her to smell it. I don't know what it is, how she all of a sudden knows, but and Bert taunts her. Bert will sit across from our house and just taunt her all day. He'll come into our yard. He'll come into the yard, and he does eat the birds. Like I have, he is catching birds when I feed him, which makes me feel horrible. But, you know, I guess that's their way out of the game. But anyways, Bert's a predator. And I know Stella used to be a predator when she was other animals. I can just see other animals in her. I know that I don't know if, you know, how the souls work, if they go through a long animal thing or something. I think it is much more of like a study. It is much more of a, like if you think about like on a college concept of a study, like you go into medical, you go into psychology, you go into the arts, you go in, like it's a direction, and as a soul, a direction, so you can go towards negative energy. Like you can say, I'm going to learn my lessons through the negative experience, or you can go through, I'm going to learn my lessons through the positive experience. But to me, it's like learning through the positive experience, you have to be very open to observation of other people's experiences and not be in judgment, to be able to see the lesson, be like, oh, I have compassion. Like I have so much compassion for so many different people's stories, and what makes it stand out to me is because so many people are so judgmental of so many different people, and you see, like you hear, and then it's like, really? Because I look at it very much like, oh, I could see what that's, oh, I can feel, oh, I could have, that could happen to me. You know, I'm always thinking like that, and these other people are always like, see, I'm smarter than them. I'm so much better than them. Like, and so you can learn from other people's stuff. And usually, what I have found in my own life, if I have an attitude like that, and it may be because it's the study I'm on, is I will be shown. I will go through an experience that is similar, so I am shown to not be judgmental. It happened since I was a kid. I noticed that when I was like 18 years old. And so I noticed that a long time. I think probably even before that, but it was really standing out to me. And so I was always hyper aware of like judgment on people. And I know a lot of people think I'm judgmental on people because I talk about what things that people do, but I talk about it through my observation of how I see things, because we can learn from this. And, you know, I'm trying to get other people to open their minds and see you can learn from what is happening around you. You know, it's not a good thing to think that people are stupid or bad or worse than you, or, you know, that they don't have value. Everyone has value. An insect has the same value as you. It's alive, you're alive. That's the fucking cosmic shit of it. So don't get all caught up in your own ass like, well, I'm a human, and I'm a good looking human, and I'm a smart human, and you know what I mean? People are so up their own ass. But this is the leveling. That's what we're going through, and it's rough, man. And so anyways, I know that Stella has been like a predator animal, and I can also see her when she's outside. She just starts acting like these other animals, and like those noises and stuff. And plus, they showed me that time about the dream about about the dream when I was a kid, and I had that repetitive dream of being killed. I was like a skinny looking kind of black guy, and I definitely, our houses, they weren't like, they were open, but they were still like houses. It wasn't like I just lived out in a box or a thatched hat or something. There was an actual house to it, but it was still, I was stalked and killed by this cat. And that dream went over and over and over. It horrified me. I couldn't stand to go to bed at night. I couldn't stand to sleep, and nobody could understand. Because I was so, everybody just saw me as like high strung and stuff. I was living a different life than all the people around me, always. And it was, you know, it can be hard, but also you learn how to figure shit out. And luckily I had guides. So, and they talked me through a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of things where you don't have, it's because you have to learn something through it. So I don't remember them telling me a lot about those dreams. I just remember being really caught up and being horrified and scared to death to go to bed at night. And then the dreams started becoming where it was, it started being other people. I started having my family there. Like it started expanding. It wasn't just me as this black guy. It was, I could be me with this family. I could be me with some other friends. I could be other, it was weird. It just kept going and going though for years. It was fucking rough. And I had nightmares every fucking night. And I don't think it stopped until I was like way into my 20s, I think. And I don't remember what happened. It seemed like something happened that stopped stressing me out in my life. Like there was some kind of a shift. And then I felt more calm, and then I wasn't having these nightmares every night. And so, but it was horrible. And it was, even after I stopped having them, it was still like PTSD. And now I've only had like a few nightmares. And I feel like, I mean, I don't want to set myself up, but I feel like that I kind of would have the awareness in the dream and be able to pull myself out of it. Because even when something starts happening, I'll start telling myself to wake up, to, you know, go from that. And so I feel like I'm at that state of consciousness, but there's always tests, so we'll see. But anyway, so but they had showed me that Stella was that cat that had killed me in when I was in this other life. She's my spirit animal. And that, so an animal spirit, it's like a spirit. Like if you think of like on the college thing, like if I'm in the study of, you know, trying to learn through light, and you have all different people, and, you know, there's people, you know, learning through, you know, being an animal and whatever it is, because I'm sure we do lots and lots of different ones. But then you have ones that you come together with because it creates a whole, just like what I was talking about yesterday. You have to find the peace inside you before you can find the peace with another one, and then you can add into it to find balance. Like we will be able to get to the point that we build balanced communities. So that's where we're headed. But, you know, we got to do the work to get there. So it's not going to just happen as like by itself. No, we do it. We make this happen. We conquer. We overcome. So we turn this into a beautiful situation by us taking responsibility for ourselves and learning and growing. So this is, you know, this is why it happens. It happens. It's written. So anyways, if I'm still on Stella, I'm skipping around too much. But they had shown me that she was the one who had killed me, but in this life that she's here to protect me. And that is, I see so much of what they have shown me, like in her personality and everything, and just the way that it's like super, super cool. And so many times she makes these, she acts like a big cat, and she looks like a big cat if you didn't have her head. If you just saw, like, if someone saw her walking in the forest or something, except for her tail, I think, you know, a cat's tail is a little bit more like that, and her tail is like a fucking arm behind there beating things. But, you know, paranoid people, which we're surrounded by those right now, that, you know, I always worry, like, somebody will see her out if she got loose, and then just shoot her, because they're all scared of her. Like, right away, they're just intimidated. And so, anyways, I try and keep her protected from anything like that, but she'll do these stalking, and so many times she makes these noises and these little growls and stuff. And then, you know, I've asked my guys a lot of times about with her pain and stuff. Like, I go through endless conversations about that kind of stuff, and they always kind of go in circles. Like, it always ends up back at the same place. Like, I'm not going to go and put her out of her misery over pain and trying to understand what pain represents in our experience. And pain is a profound institution towards your growing and learning. And so, but we want to always dismiss it and make it go away and stuff, but there's learning in it, and that is a part of why it's there. And anyone who's gone through, you know, horrible pain, loss, and stuff like that, they can tell you. And but it's on all levels. Everything is micro, macro, so it can be on all different levels. It just all depends on what your experience, what you're here to experience, and where you are, and your lesson plan, and all that stuff. So each soul is so individual. It's like, just because we're all here sharing space doesn't mean that we're all at the same place. We're all different, and that's part of the experience of the experiment that is happening, is for us all to be able to create unity when we're all so different. And that is a huge expansion for the cosmos. You know, that's like, we're taking everything to another level. And so that's why, you know, you're really a super soul. You know, you're not just some like worthless thing that they try and tell you in the game, but you have to break free from that concept for yourself. And but anyway, so Stella, when she was out there, when she was out there and she was trying to jump up, and I think that was kind of like inside of her soul, she still has like all these things that she's working out, just like we all do. Like I said, you have things and people come up to trigger you, to bring up stuff that is from past lives. But you get caught up in the experience of what it is here, the trigger, and getting mad, you know, somebody's making you feel this way. But really, they're giving you a gift to bring something up that's inside of you so that you can recognize it. But then when you distract yourself and think that everybody else is bad and you're perfect, then that is why this is like a big ego journey. What is happening is this big giant ego. You say ego death, but it's not really the death of the ego. It's the management. It's the awareness. It's to come into the awareness that there's more going on in here. Like, there's a fucking battle going on in here. You know, I got to get with it. I got to get in there and be a part of the conversation, not just be going around on autopilot doing what, you know. So that's where you move into the higher mind. And you may need to find a place of peace and stuff to do that. That's what meditation and stuff is all about. And so, you know, it's more getting contact with your soul, with yourself. And so that is your, ability to, it's like a conscious ability. And so it's all a state of being that you're working towards. Don't get caught up in thinking like, well, I'm not doing that yet. I'm not doing this yet. I'm still way back here. I'm still whining about, you know, what happened in first grade. Yeah, but that's great because it's linked to a whole lot of bigger stuff. And so everything you release is going to, you know, hop, skip, and jump you through. And don't forget, you're going to be tested throughout too. I mean, this is a long journey. This isn't something like, there's so many people, I see people crying because they have been doing their healing and stuff just keeps coming up. There was a funny video I saw yesterday. I don't know if I shared it in the thing, but yeah, she was really like, fuck, when does this stop? I don't think it stops. I think it is just, it's a new way of approach, but it gets easier. It just gets more simple and easier. You get more with the program. But you got to break free from the old program to get with the new program. And so, anyways, on the animal predator thing. And so, you know, when she was out there and she was jumping up, like, she would never get the cat and hurt the cat or anything. She would get hurt by the cat for sure. And I mean, she's such a big, like, but she just wants to get, like, I don't know, it's a game to her, and she wants to get up and smell it, but it's like keep away or something. I don't know. She just intrigues her. But yeah, I've seen her go up to cats. She'll chase them in my mom's house, but if she ever gets to get nose to one, all she wants to do is just get up and touch their nose and smell them. That's all she ever wants to do. And, but, you know, her approach, cats are, so, anyways, but it was bringing out this kind of instinct in her, like, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. And she was jumping up and jumping up. And I feel like that is kind of like this cosmic, like her having this pain now to bring her down. And I don't know, like she's been having tons of dreams, and she's always in tons of dreams. She's always running and always having stuff. She'll start, I think, talking in her sleep. Like she goes into deep stuff in her sleep. And I don't know, maybe it's her CBD medicine stuff. But anyways, you know, everything goes through the same experiences. It's not just us. They have their own approach, their own way of thinking, their own way of being shown things. And I think that it is like I don't know, not like a test for her and then she failed it or something, but more of a helping her remember, you know, you know, she goes and does her natural reaction and then it hurts her. And so then she has to lay down, and then but she always depends on me. She always just starts whining at me like I'm God, like I can fix it. Dude, I've done all I can do. I don't know what else I can do. But, you know, I'll rub her and talk to her and stuff. And that is one thing. I've had to do lots of rubbing way before. You know, I thought, oh, man, this could be hard. I'm not going to be able to rub her for a month. I'm already sitting there rubbing her. So, and I don't know what the muscles. Like when I'd ask him and he said it's just like down at the bottom, there's a cut. So you think, okay, well, it's all attached up in here. I mean, this part got way stretched out, putting these big balloons in there, you know, it stretched the muscles out. And I'm using these oils and stuff. And I swear to God, I think it's tightening the skin and helping the muscles and stuff. And I'm putting this boron cream on too. So I think it's helping the muscles are not relax, and not because you don't want it to create contractures. And see, if I just sat there and never moved my arms, then the scar tissue would become so tight that moving, because this is something that I noticed on my C-section, which is weird too, because I just saw videos talking about this. And but I had already talked about this a few weeks ago. But I was talking about something, I don't remember what it was I was saying, probably something about movement and stuff. But when I was probably talking about the torso thing, and I have cuts the whole way down that had made me really weak in my my core. I had no strength, and I would fall down really easy. I didn't know what was wrong with me. You know, I would fall down super easy. And I was always really klutzy as a kid because I had these long arms and legs and I was running around. And so then I just always thought, well, I'm a klutz. I was told I was klutz about a zillion times. I run into walls. My arm hits a wall. It's like I'm constantly klutzing out. So I was like, okay, well, I guess this is what happens to a klutz as they age. I'm only in my 40s, but I'm falling down. One of the times, this was bad, is that we were going to a fancy restaurant, my husband and I, because I was still married to the one I raised the kids with at this point. That's how long ago it started. And I had no idea about the core strength and stuff. Like, I didn't know all the damage they had done to me. And so I was all dressed up, and in Coeur d'Alene, we had gone to Coeur d'Alene to go to this fancy restaurant. And so down by Coeur d'Alene, it's a resort, and there's all these people walking around, so it's really busy and fancy people and stuff. And so we're walking to get to our reservation, and I fucking go straight down on the concrete and cut my I cut my knee. I got a bunch of cuts, and it was blood dripping. You get a night out from the kids and look what happens. Your klutzy wife falls down and gets all bloody. But we still just went in a restaurant and it's like, I'm fine. Geez, after we went, because we took our kids snowboarding all the time. And one of the times I was going down super fast and I hit something and I flipped over and crashed, and my arm was hurting and hurting and hurting. So I go down. This is the kind of person I was. Like, oh, I'll put myself aside. I'm fine. That's why it was a big deal. Like, to leave my car out there you know, blinking its lights and stuff and say, nope, I'm choosing me. So we went down the hill, and I hurt my arm. And so I was like, okay, I'm fine. Let's go again. And so I go up and start trying to go down again. And it was like really, really painful. And so then I was like, well, I'll just go sit and you guys go finish up or whatever. And so then, I don't remember if by the time we left, because I think I went and sat in the little thing, you know, by the fire and had cocoa or something. And then, by the time we left, I was like, man, my arm is really hurting. And, I don't remember, because this also happened when I broke my ankle, and I just went on, and then it ended up having to go back. And so I don't remember if we stopped at an urgent care or something on the way. And then I found out I had tore my whole fucking shoulder up. I pulled the muscle, the muscle tore, it broke the bone. So the muscle is attached to a little bone piece. It ripped that part of the bone piece off and tore the muscle. It ripped all up in my shoulder and stuff like that. I had to get surgery. I was all like, it was a whole fucking thing. But anyways, I know I'm not the only woman, and I'm sure that there's also men who do that, but we just deny ourselves. We're just like, oh, I'm fine. Just keep having fun. I'll just sit over here and die. Go on with yourself, you know. It's like, but when you go through your healing, I don't know. Now I wouldn't do that. Now I would say, you know, you guys do what you want. I'll get a taxi. Like, I'm going. Something's wrong. But I don't know. You know, I mean, it may have taken a little bit more time, too, for the pain to really set in. You know, probably there was that whole thing with adrenaline pumping through, and I maybe didn't even really notice it as much until it went on. I don't know. But I just think that a lot of times we put ourselves aside and we try and make ourselves have to do more and be hard, you know, be stronger. Oh, we're fine. And I did that so much through my life, where I was like, well, I don't want to be a wuss. I don't want to be like, and I mean, I just went and got surgery with local. I was like, so yeah, that's I'm kind of weird like that. But I keep wondering, like, I wonder if I ruined it for everybody else. Like, if he'll be like, no, the other girl, she didn't do so good. He told me I did really good, and all of them were telling me I did really good. He was like, you're a real trooper. So, but I would think he would do it for more people. Like, I put a little TikTok out and gave his name and stuff. I think he would do it for more people. I don't think I ruined it for anybody. But I think he would probably try and tell people, like, you probably want to take that Valium, though. Not just go in just I'm sober. Like, you know, I had smoked a little bit of a joint, but that, you know, it had been hours. And that, I don't know. To me, it's weird because I won't even tell the doctors that I smoke weed. I always say no, because they will put it in. This is the thing, is they'll put it in is that it's a drug and you're taking drugs, and then it follows you on your chart. And I've seen this from all different angles. And then you go in and you're labeled under that, you know, you did drugs. Because I was honest when I was younger, and I was gonna have the other 2 kids, and I was honest about, like, all my drug use and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden I was like some fucking druggie in my records. I was like, I'm not fucking druggie. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And because I did drugs when I was a kid, and I'm honest about it, so I'm not gonna fucking tell them, because they don't look at it as a plant. They don't look at it as a plant that is there for us to I mean, some people use it for anxiety, but the people, I think, that became dependent on it it held them back. Because so many people who have been smoking since they were young can't smoke anymore. It trips them out, like something's gone wrong. And I keep seeing videos of people like, what's happening? Why can't we smoke anymore? It's like, that's not what it's like for those of us who, it's new to us. It's like, it's a new thing to us, and we're just learning about it. Those people who used it, abused it, became dependent on it, then the parts of them stopped growing. They could hide from things. So I'm not saying, like, in that kind of way. If you become dependent on something where you're hiding away, you're not growing. you have to deal with things. So even if it is like you go through something and you're just like, geez, I gotta go smoke real quick. No, you need to take time and deal with whatever it is, because that's the part that makes you grow. That is a big stagnation, is why alcoholics, when they stop drinking, and then they're at the same maturity level as when they started drinking. So if they start drinking when they were a teenager and they stop drinking when they're 55, they are, what they can deal with is like a 15-year-old. It's like they're all the way back there. They have to start to go through things, because going through things, it makes you grow. It makes you expand. It makes you mature. It gives you insight. So they lose that. And so it's been the same thing with the people who were super dependent on weed, that they could go and, you know, use it and hide from life. And so now the weed is backfiring on them, and it's too much, and it's freaking them out. And so, but then there's those of us who, you know, like I thought people were like, oh, you big pothead. Oh my God, to say that to my kid. Like, because my daughters and stuff, they would smoke. And I was like, you guys, you shouldn't be smoking. You shouldn't be smoking all the time and stuff like that. And I was like super judgmental about it. I was real up my own ass. You know, I was a fucking nurse. I fucking knew everything. And here I am on all these fucking prescription meds. Like, I'm strung out on prescriptions. Like, it's so ridiculous. When you look back at some of this stuff, you gotta be able to laugh at yourself. If you can't learn to laugh at yourself, then you're gonna be in for some burdens. It's gonna be a hard ride. You got to get into the point of observation, just looking at yourself as a character. Like, oh my God, can you believe that? Like, get into it like you're watching a movie, like you're looking at a story. Wherever it is, where you can treat yourself with some kindness. And, but anyways, now I've got, did I finish the thing about the animal dog thing? And, I think I finished what I was going to say about that. Then, man, sometimes it's like I've got all these like open burners or something, and all of a sudden it's like, and if I stop and I go, like, I'm going on one track, and all of a sudden if I think, oh, what's on the other one, then that gets me totally off, where I'm like, what the fuck was I talking about? Hold on. Also, let me think for a second, because I got distracted in there. I'm talking, but I'm distracted. And I was thinking about the dryer. I was like, oh, I forgot to put the dryer on. And I still don't think they've come and put my new thing on the side of the house. Oh, which, by the way, I forgot to tell you that I got another thing about the house, and everything that I keep getting is like, it says, it's a letter, and it says, your house was sold in March 1st. It doesn't say who to or anything like that. It says if, I have 6 months to fight this. And so I was like, okay, I think that this is just, oh yeah, because I wanted to say this. So this thing that I started to say and that I forgot a minute ago. So I saw this guy do this video about this military thing. And he is, I don't know what his service arrangement was, but he was something, but it was a long while ago. But he's still pretty young. But anyway, so we got this letter, and he was reading it online and saying that they're recalling all these guys. They all have to be at this certain place. And I'm sure there's different ones, but they have to be, you know, with their, what are those things called? Not regimes, but their bunkers, their travel group, whatever it is. They have like a group that, you know, that they go around together in military. And so it's probably, you know, the different groups have to meet at different places. And it has a date and time and everything, and asking them to come back, that they need them. But the thing is who signed it. Who signed the letter. That's what stands out. And that's what the guy was like, isn't that kind of weird? Like, why is he signing it? And why does it say Commander-in-Chief? And why is he the one signing it? I thought this other guy was the one in charge. It's like, see, but that's how, and I don't know how it's all going to play out. It's going to be like pretty fantastic and dramatic, I think, what they got going. They got a lot of shit going. And that's the thing too, is at this part where people are waking up, it's like they just get so stuck on stuff. It just gets like the same things just play out and play out and play out and play out. And so the big thing playing out on TikTok right now is definitely Micah, the preacher at that situation. There's more and more dirt coming out. Like, that guy's such a skis. But that is, you know, skeezy people have used the beard of the church for, I mean, that's what it was, I think it was created for. It's like, it was a mask, always. But they drew people in because that is, you know, grow your beard bigger. And so they drew people in and out of control. And then look at all these people giving them money. Oh, I want God to love me too. Like, this is sad. But, you know, the religion thing is going to be a hard drop. It's going to be a hard fall. And so you know, it's just starting. It's just starting to tumble. And so we'll see how it all plays out. It's going to keep going. But that's a big one playing out right now. Kendrick and Drake situation, which I didn't know anything about it. I was sending my daughter something about some other drama. And, oh, I think on the whole Diddy, like, there's still more going on with Kanye and Kim, like all that. And I had sent that, and she's like, oh, I'm way more into the Kendrick and Drake. And I was like, oh, I don't even know anything about that. Well, then all of a sudden I can just get it nonstop. So I keep sending her videos. She probably thinks I'm going to look them for them. No, which is now that I know of it, there it comes, there it comes, there it comes. And but I don't really know what's going on. It's like, apparently Kendrick is telling the dirt on Drake, and Drake is he's already under FBI. I guess it's about to be a whole Diddy thing. There's more stuff being exposed, like a whole bunch of stuff, and where people are saying he was never even a rapper. He was an actor that they put in, you know, because they create idols. So he was one of those that they were like, oh, okay, well, you're our mouthpiece, and so we're going to make you a star. And so they created him to be some kind of rap singer or something. I don't really know that much about him. I just remember long time ago, the first time I ever heard of him, it was like my granddaughter or something saying, oh, I really like Drake. And she was really little. And so, you know, that's what they're trying to pull in, you know, fans from an early age. And I don't know, and then take them in a pervy drive, I guess. Because there's so much of that. And, you know, I just saw this video. This is so disturbing, but it's so fucking typical. Is some guy stopping doing interviews on the street. And who knows if this is just a setup or something. It's just like, ugh. So we asked this guy, and this guy looks like the kind of guy, like a gym bro. And is just gym bro all the fucking way. And, but he's 42 or 43 years old. And the interviewer's also the same age. And the guy doing the video about the interview, he's also the same age. So he's asking this gym bro if he, what's the youngest you would date? And he said, well, legally 18. So it's a whole conversation going. But he starts going into this whole defense of, you know, like, well, she's 18, she's blah, 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 she can do this, she can do that, you know, so he's all into, you know, going dates. The interviewer even says, like, what do you have in common with somebody that age? Like, what would you have to talk about? Well, sex attraction? It's like, dude. And he's way better fit for her because he can offer more. It's like, oh my God, you see how these older guys and how shallow too. And to look at like an 18-year-old girl who is, that to me is so sickening. Like, I don't know. I find it really disturbing. I always have. It probably because I was one of those girls that had all these old pervy guys looking at me all the time. And I had them all leching on me and stuff. So it grosses me out. And that these guys, in the way that they go after girls that are not even fully developed mentally, emotionally, and, you know, not a lot of life experience. And then, you know, they want to take them like it's a ball of clay and form them into what they want. It's like taking over another human being before they're fully developed. It's like, I don't know. I think it's so strange. But anyways, that is, you know, these kind of guys that's what they want. And there's a lot. This is something that's being purged out of our society. And I'm not saying over man versus bear, like all men are bad or something. I'm saying this is definitely something being purged out of our society right now. Because there's so freaking much about the predator type of guys that go after younger girls like this, and not even taking any responsibility at all, and thinking that that's like an acceptable thing. It's like, that is something that, you know, old men did back. I mean, this is something that women have dealt with for a long time. You know, young girls are still being sold to old men. And some parents are doing it for their own financial gain, and some people are doing it because they think the kid will have a better life and stuff. Like, I think that's part of even this thing with this Micah and this church thing. There's something about like her age, like there's some weird shit. And then his dad, there's a whole thing about being busted over in Pakistan, doing it with boys, and if the boys went and do it and give them services, that they would, you know, get violent with them. You know, see how they go over to these other countries. That's another thing that's coming out right now too, is all of these kids. And I talked about this. I swear to God, I said this months ago. Is all these kids that are over there on the strip, they're all being snatched up and they're being marketed over in Germany and being spread out. And as I said, they're not going over there and all these people they're killing the kids, they're killing the kids. No, they're fucking not going to take, that's their money. They're killing the parents. Like, Jesus Christ. So, which, you know, leaves the kids, you know, nobody to protect them. But that's what they're doing, and that's what they've been doing, and it's been going on for a long time. And this is the exposing it to us. This is for us to catch on to what's been going on all around us. And, you know, it's a hard watch. It's a hard watch when, you know, like, there's certain things that you know of, and that everybody was just ignoring it. Like, I really didn't know that there were so many people ignoring what was going on in the Middle East. Like, it's weird. And it's weird how, like, people don't even realize what they've brought this other war. Like, it's weird. It's weird to watch how some of this stuff has to play out for different souls and stuff. And, you know, that is, you know, for when it seems weird to you, I think it's perfectly fine. But that is like where you have to do your own inner work. Like, you know, of being judgmental or being impatient or whatever. I always have to just sit back and, okay, well, this is what these souls are here to learn. This is what they're here to experience. And just sit back and watch the show. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not like you can speed it up. You can't fast forward it. It's like, oh, it's going to go right at its own pace. That's destiny and father time work hand in hand, and they don't move for nobody. They go at their own pace. So let me think. So we got all the dramas that are going on, and people just keep talking about the same things over and over and looking at it from all these different perspectives. Oh yeah, the man versus bear thing though, that is just getting bigger and bigger. Like, you would think it would settle down. No, it gets bigger. It gets bigger. More and more people, more and more big content creators, and more, and the people who, and I don't know what else to call them except for a group of women that are damaged, but they're just led so hard by ego. And that's why this big ego thing has got to fall. And that's why a lot of this stuff, like where they're saying things and stuff, I think is a part of it. So they got to see themselves. But they can't see themselves yet because the light isn't on for them. So they're just speaking in the dark. But when the light comes on, they're going to see, you know, what they were saying, you know, and how ludicrous. And like, wait, how do you want your society to develop? And yeah, there is a lot of men who are in our society has been accepted. You know, it's like a part of our society that was something was playing out. This predator experience, I guess, but it's changing. And, you know, the people, there's lots of people who aren't like that. And then there's people who have been like that, who will grow and change and stuff. And this is their opportunity to grow and change. But a lot of this stuff has been, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years old. You know, this thing with kids and stuff, like, seriously, I swear to God, back, I think it was even like during the development of America over the past 150 years, there was lots of people who, they didn't have a lot of money and they had too many kids. They didn't know how to stop that thing. They didn't figure out their cycles and stuff. And so they just kept having kids and they didn't know what to do. And they would sell them to, you know, there was a old man, his wife died, and he needs someone to clean his house and take care of it, you know, and cook his food and all that stuff. They would sell their kid over there to him. And then, you know, the daughter would be expected to be, you know, this guy's wife and, you know, do his wifely duties. That's part of the duties. A man has needs. And so that has been going on a long time in our society. And it is just now where we're starting to be, you know, disgusted and talk about it and look at it and, you know, see all these different things. So that's what's important about these different conversations is the, you know, it creates awareness, it creates change. And, but all these women who keep trying to be like, all men are bad because there's like this many, but and completely discount all of the different women. And and it's got me thinking so much because of all this talk is all the different things that women have done to me. So fucking many things. Way more women have caused me emotional damage and stuff like that than men. I don't know if it is kind of like I lowered the standards on the man, like, well, just kind of expect he's going to probably do something shitty. But then you think like, oh, well, the women, they're on our side. You know, we're all in this together. And then the women just fuck you over. And like, I have been bullied by groups of women at a job before. Like a fucking group. And so now it's fucking adults. Those are nurses. Yeah. And that's another thing, same thing with those scientists and stuff. People just think because somebody has a degree or, you know, they go give all this respect to somebody who's a doctor or nurse, but you don't know their true character. You know what this person is like. And that is one thing too, is you can't force somebody to have morals. You can't get them to do that. That comes from internal. That comes from awareness. That comes from looking at things and having compassion and thinking deeper. That is where you create morals. I think it is a part of like the higher mind or something. Because we've been living in like an immoral society, an amoral, morally bankrupt. Like, just follow your needs, not even follow your needs, follow your desires. Just follow your desires, every impulse, act on every impulse, you know, every fetishy thing that comes into your mind. Try it out, do it. And the thing is people don't realize when you go and do all this stuff, it lowers how you feel about yourself. You start feeling bad about yourself, and that's their gain. That's what they're looking for. They want you to feel so bad about yourself, you turn to them. They want you to feel so disconnected from everyone, disconnected from yourself, that you always turn to them. You go to them for the answers. And their answer, of course, comes in a capsule or a tablet. And that is just more access to the development of you. These are just mad scientists trying to figure out how to find an open door into your fucking psyche. And so they have done everything that they're in their power to beat people down and keep them divided and disconnected. But that is where you've got to have that internal dialogue that is like, you know, wants more. It doesn't want to stay separated. I don't understand, like, I think you have to kind of believe in yourself as a woman to think like, okay, well, yeah, of course I would pick a man to go into the forest and, you know, develop a team. why these women are like automatically it's an opponent. Which opponent am I going to take on? Am I going to take on the bear who's just going to eat me alive? Or am I going to take on the man who's going to probably torture me and rape me and then eat me? No, he's not going to fucking even eat you. He's just going to have his way with you and go. That's their thing. He's going to probably murder you. Or they always go there. You know, it is every man who's going to go into forest with you. He's obviously a predator because all men are bad and all men are predators. It's like the strangest thing. And then they want to argue, like, so you're telling me if you have a son, like if you're a woman, like I don't even know how many of these girls are even going to go have kids. Like they fucking hate the world. And then as soon as they're pregnant, it's like, get that thing out of me. That's a fucking predator. But so if they go and they have a son, like how are they developing this son? What are they turning him into? Because out of their own needs, out of their own fears. So that is where, to me, you got to sit back. You got to get a larger approach. You got to look at the bigger picture. You got to see where it is in society. Like, I don't know. It's just something I did. Like, I knew when I was young and I first had kids, it was like really strong inside my mind. I am developing, I'm helping to these people develop into adults that can go out and handle life. They've got to be able to handle things. They've got to be able to do things, to manage themselves and stuff. And but that still doesn't mean I did it perfect. You know, I was broken. You can ask my kids, and you know, they had repercussions from my brokenness. And you know, I could sit there all day long. I wish I would have, you know, waited and had kids when I was better and stuff. But that wasn't the plan. I didn't plan on any of it. It all happened because that's the way it was supposed to happen. It happens the way it's supposed to happen, and their lessons are supposed to be their lessons. Just like my lessons are my lessons, and I get this, you know, it's like a 360 view of your lessons the further you go into them. They're only in the beginning part of theirs, you know, of like what they went through as a child. And I mean, you got to overcome all of that stuff. And all the stuff that happens is, it's so perfectly in alignment for your learning and growing and purging out other stuff. So it's all exactly the way it's supposed to be. Nothing happens by mistake or by accident. Nothing has to be forced. That is all an illusion. That is all part of them trying to trick you, to keep you distracted in the game. It's like to keep you running on a hamster wheel. Like, if you think that you can change destiny and you're trying as hard as you can and you're going to do it, it's like you're going to wear yourself out. And then you're going to be going into them, especially when they're, you know, marketing a lifestyle and, oh, look at this guy did it. This guy did it. All you got to do is just go up and think it and you get, you know, and then you're sitting there trying and trying. And it's like you can't force something that's not meant to be. Whatever they try and tell you, you got to sink into what you're here for. And what you're here for is all around you. It's making itself known to you, but you distract yourself by looking up ahead and trying to see, like, you know, like you got to do what that guy's doing so you can reach that point of success. You got to do what that guy's doing. You know, if you want this, you got to do that. It's like, no, what you're here to do is to experience yourself. To experience, and that is a part of the experience. That is a part of, like, bet your ass. If you go to a life review and you spent your whole life fucking desiring somebody else's life, that's going to be a big part of your learning. And that, I mean, that's even a thing in the Bible, isn't it? Don't lust after your neighbor's wife or something. It's like, don't always want what somebody else has, because that is a distraction. It's not following your own path. That is thinking your path's not good enough. Their path is much better. And it's all just warped thinking. And I think it's created, personally. And that, it must be a confirmation. And so anyways, I think that it is, they create all of that stuff purposely so that to get you to be chasing something, chasing your own tail. Like, fucking seriously. It is like a whole bunch of dogs out just chasing their tail. And they all just sit up there in their thrones of whatever they are. Looking down on us as like we're so ignorant. But no, you guys are tricking us. You guys are creating this chaos. And so there's repercussions. That's what, you know, I don't know how it all goes. But I know that we came here. Like, we came here for this. And we didn't get trapped here. Like, I don't know. There's some people, you know, they're pretty sure they're trapped here. I just don't see how that goes, because you still go to a life review. And there is, at the life review is not everybody goes and jumps back in. Like, the ones who say, like, this is a prison planet and they just keep pushing people back in is like they put pressure on you as soon as you leave your life. And maybe that is happening, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know that there's other realms that are managed and stuff. Like, if you go out of this realm, like where your consciousness, the next realm up, like when you go to sleep and you leave your body, the next realm, that is managed. Like, that is still policed. Like, there's because those are like these men in black. The men in black, they fucking, they've got people who are have mental abilities. And this is the thing, because I know that I know it was people like me that they were looking for in school and doing these tests, and they caught a bunch of them. They didn't get me, but my guides were telling me not to do those dots, to just not do that test, just do the thing. I've talked about this before, but I have seen more and more now about that stuff, about kids who were in the special programs and all the weird stuff that they would have to do. And my daughter was in one of those programs, and she keeps saying, well, I don't remember, you know, we just were making robots and stuff, but I don't know. But she was definitely going to these different schools. But the thing is that they do further testing, because like when you listen to Corey Goode, then once they find out, like what would have got me was that the telepathy is that I can hear them, I can talk to these other beings that are around us. And so that is what like I can hear people, I can hear people's thoughts and stuff. So that is the part that I would have got sucked into, like that they would have wanted to use for me, because that's what they did with Corey Goode. And they used him to communicate with these other beings. And they'll just take it further and further. Like, he was getting pulled further into this space program, where he was the one where I started hearing about the 25 and back, or 20 and back or something. Like, they'll take you to another realm, and then you have to do all this work. And this one, time has sped up, and then they have to reverse you back. And so they will set you back in time. And so where he would age, and then they would reverse him back. You'd have to go listen to him explain it and stuff. But there is a whole thing about this, and that is supposed to be in our new med beds, the military med beds, the ones that just don't move. The ones that I'm, you know, focused on is those ones that reverse your. They do a lot of stuff with your cells and stuff, and grow back limbs, grow back teeth, all of the things that get you into your premium cellular structure. And it just went off. And so then in those ones too, that they can reverse us back like 25 years. It's not like they're going to reverse you back to being, you know, 25 years old or something, or 30 years old, or whatever it is when to reverse you back. It is that it gets your cellular structure. So, you know, you're going to look younger, but it doesn't like reverse you all the way. Oh, and this is weird. This is a big thing that is happening too, is there was a guy who, he has an Airbnb, and he has cameras, and nobody was staying in it. and his camera alerted him that there was someone in his yard. So he started watching on the camera, and he saw some guy who was walking around acting really weird in his backyard. He was going up to this shed, and he's walking away, and he's, damn. And he turns around and goes back to the shed, and he's like, seems really confused. Then he goes into the shed. And so the guy calls the cops and tells the cops to go, and the cops go, and there's nobody in the shed. And then I think the cops went out twice or something, and were looking all in the shed, couldn't find anybody. And so he was like, I think the cops think I'm crazy or something. I saw this guy go in, it's on the film. And so I don't know if he showed them the footage and they went back and looked some more, maybe looking for a trap door or something. But anyways, he couldn't find anything. But then the next day, the doors open, and a man comes walking out, only he's like 30 years older. He's way older, and he looks over at the camera dead on. So he zooms up to the guy's face. You can see the guy's aged. And so then the guy's like, is this the same guy? He's aged, he's a time traveler, or is this a different one? There's definitely a portal in that shed. And he's going next week to the place, and he's going to go out and do a thing. But I don't know that anybody could just go into a portal. You've got to match the vibration, and that is something that some of these people have figured out how to do, is to create. That's like the Back to the Future kind of thing, to make these things, to change the vibration. That's what those kids did in that mall. They put down this thing, and they created this frequency or vibration thing, and that's where those things started coming out. So things can travel through the portal, but it has to do with vibration and stuff. And so anyways, but to go, it's like such a movie. The guy's out there, he's got to get back to his place, and as he's trying to stop some big crime, and he comes and he goes to do this thing, is he trying to find himself? Like, what the hell is it? And then is he going back in time? And does he just need any shed? I don't know. It's so interesting. But anyways, and I'll look for those videos and I'll share them in the thing so you guys can see, because it is interesting. There was another thing too. There's been a lot of crazy supernatural things. Like, there's a lot. Everything is shifting. Everything like is changing, you know, and it's up to us to do our changing too. And a part of your change is to open your mind to not be scared of what's real, because you've been just so controlled in limitation. But there's this whole wild world outside, and so it is, you know, don't get scared of all this supernatural stuff, all this crazy stuff. Like, there's so many crazy sounds and stuff. Oh my God, even when I open the door sometimes, it's like, what in the hell is making these noises? Is it some kind of, and everything's so loud. But I mean, I keep sounding like tropical birds. Oh yeah, and it snowed yesterday in one place. Snowstorm, I can't remember where it was. Northern California, there was a snowstorm. And here it says that we're supposed to have rain for the next couple days. It's been this weird color for days. This weird color, super eerie. Everything's so fucking loud. You can hear a plane coming for so long. It takes so long. Where it was all blue skies, they started filling it in with all the stuff, and it's all totally overcast. And then it's supposed to, all of a sudden, after this, it is going to go up in the 70s real high. Like, I looked in other parts, and it's like over in Spokane, it's gonna be like at 85. So this is where they always are getting these cold front and heat things to hit into each other. And that's what creates these huge storms that keep hitting over in the Midwest and stuff, is they've got that going. There's a whole fucking huge storm thing happening over there again. And they're saying that May is going to be way worse storms. Like the weather, this is what I'm hearing, like guys online saying, weather guys, that the weather is going to be completely crazy during May. And that really shows me too, like the speeding up of the chaos and stuff. But I don't know, I think that, you know, old Donald to sign these letters, it's a big thing. And then to all of these military people who are getting them, you know, who are like, oh, so this guy's the one who's ordering us back, how does he have say? And so it's all of this, you know, of you know, Joe never had a say. He only had a say if you allowed him to have a say, because he doesn't have power. But none of them have power. Nobody has power over you unless you give them the power over you. And that to me is this separation. This keeps saying, no, you don't have power over me. You don't have power over me. And however far they keep pushing, because they keep pushing and pushing, but everything that they push on is going to fall apart. And that is like, you know, I think why I keep getting these pink letters. You know, your house is sold, but you got 6 months. You better hurry up and do something about it. I should get one out and read it. I keep saving them. I keep saving a bunch of stuff because even my court stuff, because that was fucking illegal and corrupt, my whole court thing. That was some bullshit. They make me go to court for malpractice and then they all fucking lie. Negligence. And then they're allowed to just lie. That's what our court system is. Just fucking ludicrous bullshit. So, but everything, you know, will go back in order. Like there will be justice, like karma. Karma will, we don't have to get mad because they're taking something. It's karma is going to replace it. So the universe will swing back in and give you what you're owed. The karma will swing back in and give you everything that, but you got to remember, it's about your energy. And if you're putting out really toxic energy and hateful and divisive and you're always mad and angry and blaming the world and stuff, then more things are going to keep happening to help you purge that out. And it's going to, you know, take you down to your knees. It's going to drop you fucking down. And so everybody's going to go to the place they got to go to. And once everybody gets to this place, you know, coming to your knees, and that's different for everybody. You know, some people can lose a spouse, and that is all it took. Some people have to lose, you know, every fucking thing. And so whatever it is that people go through, if you keep putting out a certain attitude of hateful and division and stuff like that, then you're going to probably have more shit that's going to keep happening. And that is not because you're being punished. It's because the universe is trying to help you get rid of it. The universe is trying to do you a favor so that you can ascend, so you can let go of all the garbage. But it's an internal thing. You have to be able to look at it. It's like you have to be able to care. You have to be able to look at things in a deeper way. That's comes from inside of you. That comes from your state of consciousness. And I swear to God, like there's animals around us that are going deeper into their thoughts than, you know, some of the people are just so caught up in the game that they are not going deeper. But I would just say it's important, you know, to always go internal, because I would imagine that you've got a lot of internal dialogue that is trying to occur, but you could easily distract yourself with all the drama. I mean, there's so much drama going on. And it's going to be all through disclosure, tons and tons of drama, and tons of it will be, you know, people, you know, that they really liked this person, and then this person is going to show their true colors, and then people are going to be really disappointed and sad and feeling stupid. Like, why didn't I see that before? Why did I think that they were such a good person? So it's those kinds of things that people have to purge through to go in and recognize, like, why didn't I like them? What was I stuck on? What was I thinking? You know, and because it's inside of you somewhere. Somewhere deep inside of you is all things. All your answers are inside of you. But you have to be willing to go in and make these adjustments. Look at things deeper. And it's not even going to be a choice here in a minute. It's not going to be a choice. It's not going to be like how it's been, like while I've been lecturing, trying to get everybody to do it. It's going to be the universe is about to push it. It's about to be forced. That is the prophecy. That is the, you know, the time of mirrors. It's the time of reflection. It's like the time where you don't get away with being able to blame anybody. You're only going to be able to see what you've done. And, but just remember, no matter how dark and deep it goes, that is for you. It's to help you to purge out this darkness inside of you. So it's not to punish you. It's not to tell you that you're rotten and you're no good and you have no value. The universe would not do that. The universe is trying to help you. It's trying to help you purge out your old pain and to renew you. It's to renew your vibration, to restore you. And it's weird too, because I kind of do see, like, you know, the rebirthing process, the going through is a very draining process of this rebirthing and rebirthing and re-experiencing. And, you know, there is a lot of trauma and pain that is stuck inside of you that it needs to be purged out. And it is very draining. You don't have time to do this when you're trying to, you know, go through all these different experiences. Like, some of the experiences that your souls have gone through have been very hard, and you didn't have time to sit and think about things. You were just surviving. And sometimes fighting, and sometimes, like, there's been lots of wars, there's been lots of stuff. And so it's at the time, you know, of the life review is just to go in, you see from everybody else, like, how you affected others, because that's a different perspective. And then once you see that, that is the big draw, why so many people, like, why you have relatives all around you, why you have like, there's guides, like, there's a whole thing, it's a whole system. And so the people who what was I gonna say, because the ones that so when they go into the life review and stuff like that, and they go see, there's not so much that you can fix everything. Like, even when you're trying to fix something, you know, I mean, there's so much limitation. I'm going to sit here and hang out with you and try and tell you, don't do that, don't do that. And you think of this different, look at this. Like, they'll try and, you know, they're trying to right their wrongs, the things that they feel like that they would have done different. But there's still an urgency to it. There's still not a peaceful, like, this time right now, it's like a time of peace, even though it's very chaotic, but it is so long and drug out. Like, this is fucking stretched, so stretched out. Like, fuck, I've been going, like, this has been going a long time. Like, some people are just waking up. This has been going a long fucking time. But so anyways, it's been super stretched out, and it's going to continue stretching because we haven't even gone into the healing phase. We haven't even gone into the time of mirrors. Like, this is just setting us up for it. This is just getting ready so you know what you're going to be looking at. And so but it's so stretched out because this is the time. This is the wrap up. This is the wrap party. This is where you get to come in and reevaluate yourself and make changes, let go of things. It is the renewal of you. That is the ascension. So, you know, that's what this is all about. It's like a wrap up of the old age. That old age, you know, was very tiresome. It was weary. It was full of a lot of dark shit. And so, yeah, there's a lot of heavy stuff that has to be purged out. And a lot of people have a lot of attachments to a lot of dark energy. And you got to, you know, purge that dark energy off of you. And because the dark energy is, you know, it's heavy. It's burdensome. They keep you mad, keep you sad, keep you angry. You know, so you got to purge that stuff out. But anyways, that's what this time is all about. This time of renewal, this time of growth, this time, but it's most effective for the people who have the abilities to look at themselves, to see themselves, to want to change, to want to be different, to want better, you know. And I don't know, you know, it's going to be all different. It's going to be like a big thing. It's a big thing that's happening. So anyways, it's exciting, and I feel like that things are moving, but man, it's crazy sometimes when I think, fuck, where I was. I swear to God, I was so certain by February 2021, it was going to all be over. It was like, okay, then it stretched. Okay, well, for sure by April, it's got to be over. There's no way. No. He's almost finished this 4 fucking years. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, it is just crazy. His fake fucking guy in a mask, all these fucking bullshit, all this, like, it's absurd. It's so motherfucking absurd. I can't even believe it. It just boggles my mind. And you got people up there talking, like, this is the craziest shit. I can't even believe it. So anyways, but it does seem like, you know, there's got to be some significance with this letter, that there's some kind of like a line in the sand, like shit's going down at the end of this month. We're not going into summer like this. But I don't know. I could be fucking September sitting there saying, can you believe it? It's still going. Like, it just drags. But while it's dragging, it does create a lot of eye-opening a lot of harsh experiences and a lot of loss. That's a big part of what we're going through, is a lot of loss. What do you do with it? And did you really need that? That's the thing that people got to get through, is like to see. I just saw, what was this? It was a girl. Oh, it was in my comments. It was in my comments. And I don't even remember the whole thing, but it was like something about, I think I had said something about moms. It was after I'd seen this lady, you know, like, she's already, just can't even believe it. Like, it's almost summer. We're going to have to feed these kids. We're going to have them all goddamn summer. It's just like, oh my God, what in the hell is up with our society? And so then I had said something, you know, would all these people be having kids if they weren't giving them to the government for most of the day? Like, fuck. And this woman, I think that's what she had commented on, but she had said, well, you know, I would have preferred to have had a husband who had $1 million, and I wouldn't have had to work, and I would have been able to do this and that and all that stuff. And the excuses, and that's the thing. This is what the universe is trying to get you to see. You don't need all that stuff. Like, how can you sit back and go, well, I could have had a perfect life if I would have had this, this, and this, and this. The universe is giving you an opportunity to make your life perfect the way what you do have. So you don't sit around and go like, oh, if I could have, if I would have, I should have. You know, no. This is what you got. And you turn it into fucking something beautiful, or you don't. And that's what you get to go over in your life review. It's not like you're going to be cursed to hell because you didn't do it right. No, you get to go reevaluate your own self. And, you know, we'll see what, you know, it's probably going to push you to want to do better. I think that's pretty much how it always turns out. So just remember, while you're trying to do better, is remember, it's important to always love yourself, to love everyone, no matter what. Just love them. Just love them for who they are. Just love them. And to have a loving day, because it is your choice. It's up to you to make that choice, to look at things and say, no, I'm going to have a happy day. I'm going to be in love with this day, because that's the day you have. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.